Cleopatra VII, Egypt's final pharaoh, strides through history like a colossus, her name carved in stone and whispered in tales. Born in 69 BC, she ruled a kingdom caught between the fading glory of the Ptolemies and the iron grip of Rome. Her life was a dance of power, love and defiance, her alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony shaping empires. These stories, drawn from ancient scrolls and modern pens, paint a woman of wit, courage and tragedy. Tonight, we'll walk her path from Alexandria's golden streets to her final stand through 5 chapters that unfold her rise, her loves, her fall, and her enduring shadow. Settle in, let the Nile's flow carry you, and step into her world. Cleopatra VII came into the world in 69 BC in Alexandria, a city where Greek columns met Egyptian sands. Her father Ptolemy XII, Auletes, ruled the Ptolemaic dynasty, a line of Macedonian Greeks stretching back to Alexander the Great's general Ptolemy I. Her mother, likely Cleopatra. 5. Tryphena was a shadow in the records. Perhaps her father's sister or cousin, as was the custom. The Ptolemies kept their blood close, marrying kin to hold power tight. Cleopatra grew up in a palace of marble and gold, the air thick with incense, the Nile glinting beyond. She was no ordinary child. Her mind was sharp, her hunger for knowledge fierce. She studied mathematics, astronomy and rhetoric. Her tutors, the best Alexandria's library could offer. Unlike her kin, who spoke only Greek, Cleopatra learned Egyptian, the tongue of her people, a choice that won their hearts. She mastered 9 languages from Latin to Hebrew, her voice a tool as potent as any sword. By her teens, she was a scholar, a diplomat, a queen in waiting. In 51 BC, Ptolemy XII died, his throne passing to Cleopatra just 18, and her brother Ptolemy XIII, a boy of 10. Tradition bound them to co-rule, perhaps even marry. But Cleopatra had no taste for sharing power. She struck her brother's name from decrees, her face alone on coins, her will iron. Ptolemy's advisors, Pothinus, a cunning eunuch, and others bristled. They stirred the court-spread lies, and by 50 BC drove Cleopatra into exile, her brother their puppet. She fled to Syria, her pride unbroken, her eyes on the throne. There gathered men, gold and resolve, plotting her return. In 48 BC, Julius Caesar landed in Alexandria, chasing Pompey, his rival in Rome's civil war. Pompey was dead, beheaded by Ptolemy XIII's men, a gift meant to please Caesar, but which sickened him. Cleopatra saw her chance. She slipped back into the city, smuggled past guards, in a rolled carpet, unfurling before Caesar in his chambers. At 21, she was young, but her wit and charm were ageless. Caesar, 52, was captivated not just by her beauty, but by her audacity, her mind, her wealth. They became allies, lovers, partners in power. Caesar backed Cleopatra's claim, sparking war with Ptolemy XIII. The Battle of the Nile in 47 BC was brutal. Caesar's legions, outnumbered, crushed Ptolemy's forces. The boy king drowned in the river. His ambition sunk. Cleopatra took the throne now, co-ruling with another brother Ptolemy, 14. A mere formality, she bore Caesar a son, Ptolemy, 15, Caesar called Caesarion. Little Caesar, a child tying Egypt to Rome. Her rule was secure, but the shadow of Rome loomed large, its hunger for Egypt's grain and gold ever growing. Cleopatra's alliance with Julius Caesar was no mere fling. It was a pact forged in fire and ambition. In 48 BC, When she met him, Caesar was Rome's greatest general, his power vast, but his debts vaster. Egypt's wealth, its grain, its gold, was a lifeline he needed. Cleopatra, exiled and vulnerable, needed his legions to reclaim her throne. Their meeting with her emerging from a carpet was a masterstroke of theatre. She spoke his language, flattered his ego, and offered a vision of mutual gain. Caesar weathered, but sharp saw in her a partner, not just a queen. Their romance bloomed amid war. Caesar's forces, joined by Cleopatra's loyalists, faced Ptolemy XIII's army in Alexandria. The city burned docks, storehouses, even parts of the Great Library. Its scrolls lost to flame. In the Battle of the Nile, Caesar's strategy prevailed. Ptolemy XIII fled his body. Claimed by the river Cleopatra now, 22 was queen, again her brother Ptolemy, 14. A puppet at her side, she and Caesar grew closer. Their bond sealed by the birth of Caesarion in 47 BC, a boy whose name tied two worlds. Cleopatra followed Caesar to Rome in 46 BC, living in his villa across the Tiber, a guest, but also a queen. She brought Caesarion, her claim to Caesar's legacy, and Ptolemy XIV, a formality soon dispatched lightly by her hand, poison or blade to clear her path. In Rome, she was a spectacle, her presence stirring whispers. Caesar, now dictator, placed a golden statue of her as Venus in his temple. A bold move that shocked the Senate. Romans, proud of their republic, distrusted this foreign queen, fearing Caesar's ambitions. Did he want to be king with Cleopatra as his consort? Cicero, the orator, wrote, "I hate the queen," his pen, dripping scorn. Their situationship was complex. Love, yes, but rooted in power. Cleopatra sought Rome's protection, lands lost to her dynasty, a future for Caesarion. Caesar needed Egypt's riches to fund his wars, his debts, his dreams of empire. They spent months together planning, plotting, their nights warm with possibility. But Rome's politics were a snake pit. On the Ides of March 44, BC, Caesar was stabbed to death in the Senate, his blood pooling on the marble, his enemies' knives relentless. Cleopatra in Rome felt the ground shift. Her protector was gone, her son's future uncertain. She fled back to Alexandria. Ptolemy, 14 dead. Caesarion, her new co-ruler at 3 years old. Egypt was hers, but Rome's civil war loomed, its factions hungry for power. Cleopatra, ever the survivor, turned her gaze to the next Roman who could secure her throne, Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal general, a man whose heart and sword would shape her fate. In 41 BC, Mark Antony, a bear of a man with curls and a soldier's swagger, summoned Cleopatra to Tarsus. He was a 𝘕𝑢𝑚virate, one of 3 ruling Rome after Caesar's death, and he wanted answers. Had she backed Cassius, his rival in the civil war? Cleopatra now, 28, saw not a threat but a chance. She sailed up the Cydnus River on a barge of gold, dressed as Venus, her servants fanning her with feathers, music. Drifting like a spell, Antony, expecting a queen, met a goddess. His fascination was instant. Her charm, a net he didn't want to escape. They became lovers that night, their bond as much passion as politics. Antony needed Egypt's wealth, grain for Rome's armies, gold for his campaigns. Cleopatra needed Antony's legions to shield her throne and expand her realm. She played on his love for Greek culture, his taste for luxury. Hosting feasts where wine flowed and laughter rang, they called themselves the inimitable livers. Their nights a blur of revelry, their days plotting empire. Antony granted her lands, Cilicia, Cyprus, parts of Syria, restoring Ptolemaic glory. They had 3 children, twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene II in 40 BC, and Ptolemy Philadelphus in 36 BC. In Alexandria, they staged the Donations of Alexandria, a ceremony declaring their children rulers of vast eastern territories. Cleopatra as Isis, Antony as Dionysus. It was a vision of a new world. But to Rome it was treason, foreign queens stealing their empire. Octavian, Antony's rival, fanned the flames. He spread tales of Antony's debauchery, his betrayal of Rome for Cleopatra's bed, Antony's marriage to Octavia. Octavian's sister crumbled as he returned to Cleopatra his heart hers. By 32 BC, Octavian declared war not on Antony, but on Cleopatra, painting her as Rome's enemy, a seductress, bending a Roman to her will. The Battle of Actium in 31 BC was their undoing. Antony and Cleopatra's fleet, grand but unwieldy, faced Octavian's lean navy off Greece's coast. The battle turned sour. Cleopatra's ships fled. Antony followed their forces shattered. They retreated to Alexandria, their dreams in tatters. Octavian's army closing in. Antony, hearing false news of Cleopatra's death, drove his sword into his chest, dying in her arms as she wept. Her composure broken, Cleopatra, refusing to be Octavian's prize, chose her own end. On August the 10th or 1230 BC, at 39, she died, perhaps by an asp's bite, a symbol of divine royalty, or by poison, her method, a mystery, her son. Caesarion was killed, her other children spared, sent to Rome. Their love, a fire that burned too bright, consumed them. Yet it lives in stories, Plutarch's pen, Shakespeare's verse, a tale of 2 souls who dared to defy an empire and paid with their lives. Alexandria in 30 BC stood on the edge, its glory fading under the weight of war. Octavian's army marched closer, their boots heavy on the earth, their numbers vast after the rout at Actium. The Nile flowed as it always had, its waters green, but the city's air was thick with dread. Antony, once a lion of Rome, rallied. What troops remained? His broad frame bent his eyes, searching for Cleopatra, she. The last Ptolemy held her ground, her mind sharp, her children. Caesarion, Alexander, Selene, Philadelphus, her reason to fight on. The city's walls, once a symbol of strength, buckled under Octavian's siege. Antony led a final charge, his sword flashing, his voice hoarse, urging his men forward. They faltered, their numbers too few, their spirits broken. A messenger came, his words, a dagger. Cleopatra was dead, the rumor said. Gone by her own hand, Antony believed it. His heart heavy, his purpose gone, he took his sword, drove it deep into his chest, the steel cold, his blood hot on the stone floor. His men carried him to Cleopatra's mausoleum, where she waited alive. Her face pale, her hands trembling. She pulled him close, his weight heavy, his breath shallow. They spoke their words soft, their love, a quiet flame. Antony died in her arms, his eyes on hers, his fight done. Cleopatra, 39 years old, saw the end coming. Octavian wanted her alive, a trophy to parade through Rome's streets, her crown torn off her name, a mockery. She locked herself in her mausoleum, a stone fortress she'd built near the palace, its chambers filled with gold jewels, the treasures of her reign. She wrote to Octavian, her script, steady, asking to be buried with Antony. Her last request. She tried to charm him, her voice low, her eyes searching his. But Octavian was ice, his ambition cold. His plan set, she knew what awaited Chain's humiliation, her children's fates in his hands. She chose her own path. On August the 10th or 1230 BC, Cleopatra dressed in her finest robes, her crown in place, her makeup flawless. The story says she called for an ascipi, Egypt's sacred cobra, its bite a mark of divinity, a queen's farewell. She pressed it to her arm, the venom quick, her breath slowing her body still. Others claim poison, a vial, hidden in her hair, or a paste smeared on her skin. Death swift and silent. Her maids, Iris and Charmian, stayed with her loyal to the end. Iris died first, her body at Cleopatra's feet. Charmian adjusted her queen's crown one last time. Her hands steady, before she too fell the poison shared. Octavian's men broke in, found the scene, Cleopatra regal in death, her maids beside her, their loyalty eternal. Octavian buried her with Antony. Their tomb sealed its location, lost to time, their love a secret the sands kept. He ordered 𝘂𝑎𝑒 17 at the killed a threat to his claim as Caesar's heir, the boy's body left in the dust. Cleopatra's other children, Alexander, Selene, Philadelphus, were spared, sent to Rome under Octavia's care. Their Ptolemaic blood, a whisper in a Roman world, Egypt, became a province, its pharaohs gone, its independence a memory. Alexandria's light dimmed, but Cleopatra's name burned brighter, a flame that time couldn't touch. Cleopatra's death in 30 BC ended the Ptolemaic line, but her story grew a myth larger than her reign. To Rome, she was the enemy, the temptress who lured Caesar and Antony to ruin her name, spat in the forum, Octavian. Now, Augustus spun her tale to his advantage, a warning of foreign influence, a justification for empire, but beyond Rome her legend took root. Her defiance, a spark, her intelligence, a beacon. Ancient writers shaped her image. Plutarch, writing a century later, gave her a voice, her charm, her wit. His words, painting her as Antony's equal, a queen who loved as fiercely as she ruled Horace, a Roman poet, called her a fatale monstrum, a fatal marvel. His verse grudgingly admiring her courage, her choice to die free. Later medieval tales cast her as a sorceress, her beauty a spell, her death a mystery. The asp story stuck, its symbolism potent, a queen becoming divine, her end, a triumph, not a defeat. Her legacy lived in her children, though their paths were hard. Cleopatra, Selene, too. Her daughter survived, married Juba II of Numidia, ruled Mauritania, and kept her mother's memory alive. Her coins bearing Cleopatra's name. Her court, a blend of Egyptian and Roman. Alexander, Helios, and Ptolemy. Philadelphus, faded from history. Their fates unknown, likely lost to Rome's shadow Caesarion. Her hope was erased, his blood too dangerous for Augustus to spare. Cleopatra's influence stretched far. In literature, she became a muse. Chaucer's Legend of Good Women praised her Shakespeare's Antony, and Cleopatra gave her passion and tragedy. Her lines a sharp, her love a storm. In art, she was a canvas. Tiepolo's paintings showed her with Antony, her gaze commanding, her robes flowing. Hollywood took her up. Elizabeth Taylor's 1963, Cleopatra, her eyes lined with kohl, her voice, a drawl made her a modern icon. The film's cost a fortune, its drama mirroring her own. Scholars still chase her, archaeologists hunt her tomb, thought to lie near Alexandria, perhaps at Taposiris Magna, its secrets buried under sand or sea. Her policies, tax reforms, trade with Arabia, a stable currency. Showed a ruler who cared for her people, not just her power. She spoke their language, worshipped their gods, called herself Isis. Her rule, a bridge between cultures. Feminists claim her a woman who wielded power in a man's world. Her mind, her weapon, her choices, her own. Cleopatra's shadow touches today. Her name graces ships, perfumes, cities, a testament to her pull. She remains Egypt's last pharaoh, a queen who fought Rome with every tool she had. Her life, a testament to ambition. Her death, a final act of control. Her story endures a whisper on the Nile, a fire that never dies. We've traveled Cleopatra's road from the sunlit halls of Alexandria to the shadowed end of her reign. We've seen her rise a queen of wit, and will her loves with Caesar and Antony, a dance of power and passion. Her fall, a choice to die. Free, her legacy carved in stone and story stretches across centuries. Her name, a symbol of defiance. Her life, a lesson in courage. As we leave her world, picture the Nile at dusk, its waters calm, her spirit lingering on its banks, a queen who bent history to her will. Thanks for joining this journey through Cleopatra's life. May her tale echo in your thoughts, a spark from Egypt's last fire burning bright.
Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, drop a comment below. And please like, share and subscribe my channel.